This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 677, Why This Way? By Colin Wright of exilelifestyle.com, and I'm Justin Malik. This is the podcast where I act as a personal narrator for you, totally free of charge, unless you want to contribute, of course. I narrate the best blogs on personal development, minimalism, productivity, and more. Today's post is from Colin Wright, a well-known minimalist, but he writes about other things too, like today's post doesn't have to do with minimalism. So let's get right to it and continue optimizing your life. Why This Way? By Colin Wright of exilelifestyle.com. One of the most important questions you can ask yourself at any point in your life is why? A deluge of valuable realizations can dawn as you pause and assess and wonder and perhaps make some changes to the way you do things. We're not typically encouraged to question the paths we follow, so reaching that point generally doesn't happen until we're shocked into pausing and asking, or until we reach a milestone moment, a so-called midlife crisis, or even a quarter-life crisis, which seem to be increasingly common these days. If we're lucky, that moment of befuddlement leads to a new path that's better aligned with the goals we actually hope to reach. We ask why, determine why, and then recalibrate our actions around that newly sharpened purpose. But there are important secondary questions that are often overlooked even during these moments of clarity and revision. For instance, why am I doing this in this particular way? The way you pursue a goal can be just as important as the goal itself. The journey is often just as or more valuable than the destination, so it's a good idea to ask yourself whether you want to take the trip on a bike or in a canoe or via teleporter. Whether you want to pursue your dream of curing cancer by taking the traditional medical professional career track or through some asymmetric outsider approach. The answer to this question can influence a great deal of what you do day to day and how much you enjoy the pursuit of something you consider to be important. It can also determine the shape of your outcomes and who you evolve into along the way. Another question, how will I sustain myself? This isn't a fun question for most people. It's a true bummer to decide that you want to travel the world and then be forced to work out your expenses and income, your assets and liabilities, to address our debts. But sustaining ourselves, whatever path we might take, is necessary. And that means ensuring our income covers our expenses, plus more than that ideally. We also need to ensure our paths are sustainable physically and psychologically. It's not uncommon to plan out a superhuman route to a goal we want to accomplish, only to find partway through that continuing at that pace will destroy our health, or that operating without backup, without some kind of sturdy support system and periodic breaks, is making us feel alone and depressed. For a lifestyle to be sustainable, it needs to be doable over the long haul. That means taking a lot of not so fun, not so Instagrammable aspects of your planned route into account. Finally, how will I know it's time to ask why again? If we're lucky, we have the good fortune to question and pivot in this way a few times over the course of our lives, but it's possible to build this type of big picture questioning into your life on a more regular basis. What this requires is a periodic excuse to step back from daily rituals and routines so that you can reassess your broader concerns. What worked for me is taking 20 minutes a day to do absolutely nothing, to just sit quietly with no music or other distractions and either close my eyes or stare at the wall. I just allow myself to think about anything at all with no set goals or specific motivations beyond allowing myself to mentally step back and just be for a while. During these breaks, I will often be reminded of the bigger picture. I'll address smaller day-to-day things as well, but because there's time and I know I'm not going anywhere, not rushing to do anything else, I can afford to check in and see if what I'm doing, the bigger picture guiding those day-to-day actions, still makes sense for who I am and what I believe and what I want to accomplish. Getting to that why moment is, unto itself, a very valuable thing. Expanding on that question and asking it over and over, acting upon what you learn, can be even more beneficial in terms of living the most U-shaped life possible. You just listened to the post titled Why This Way by Colin Wright of exilelifestyle.com. A shorter post, but we had a longer one yesterday, so it all works out. And before we go, if you want ad-free versions of this show and have the ending music cut out for you, it's only $2 a month through Patreon. You can learn more at oldpodcast.com/help. And someone left a comment saying that they like ad-free versions of one of our other shows. I didn't see a lot of interest in that before, but if that's something you'd want, let me know. You can get in contact at oldpodcast.com. I can consider doing that. I just don't want to go through the whole thing of editing out the ads for all of the shows if only 2 people want it. As much as I'd like to make those 2 people happy, it does take time for me to make the MP3s and all that stuff. So yeah, let me know if you want that. Or again, if you want to help out this show and get this whole speech removed and the ending music removed, come by oldpodcast.com/help or find Optimal Living Daily on Patreon. Have a very happy Wednesday, and I'll catch you tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.